Yeah, it's been good. Obviously, you can't control the weather, and particularly with natural disasters, the last thing in my mind was sort of the game of footy. It was making sure that everybody was safe and taking care of what they needed to up north, and our thoughts were with them.
Is it a good thing or a bad thing, what's happened now that you're not playing till Saturday?
I think it's neither. It was a situation out of our control with the weather, but you take any extra prep you can. It was going to be a bit of a stop-start for us early in the year, but now we get a bit of flow through our first part of our season, which I think we'll take full advantage of.
You lose that bye now. Is that fine? None of the boys had any plans on that weekend, did they?
Oh, no, not that I know of, not that I'm aware of. But as I said, it would have been very stop-start. Opening round, a couple of games, week off, and then 11 games straight. So I think now that we can get back into more of a flow and more of a natural sort of progression through the start of the season, it's a bit more normal for us.
Did you watch the two games on the weekend? What were your main takeaways?
Bits and pieces. I watched a majority of the Hawthorn-Sydney game, which was a fantastic contest. Obviously, two teams that are probably going to be right there at the thick of it at the end of the season, and then a bit of stop-start yesterday with two little toddlers running around trying to keep me occupied. So, it's best time of year. Footy's back, weather's great, so it's exciting.
Tom, have you noticed a bit of a crackdown on short kicks? AFL.com had a story this morning that some clubs are bracing for a stricter interpretation of some of those short kicks.
I think, I'll say this with a bit of tongue in cheek, I think there's always a few rules that get really hard and fast at the start of the year that they say they're going to crack down on, but I think by the time you sort of get to round 4 or 5, the loosening of the interpretation sort of starts to happen, and you sort of refer back to what is normalcy in footy terms. We experienced it a little bit in the Essendon game. I think with that interpretation where we sort of thought that we were, you walk a fine line with where 15 metres is, and it's left up to the umpire's discretion, but I think we'll sort of see it revert back to the way it has been in the past.
And your prep for this year, mate, just plenty of midfield time again, do you feel?
I'll just play where the team needs me week by week. I think the best thing in our team is our flexibility. We've added Bailey and Jack into the mix, and a lot of young players that are sort of coming to their own with their maturity and their bodies and the like. So our biggest advantage is our ability to throw different names through different parts of the ground, whether it be me in the midfield or Lawson through there or whoever it may be. That's our strength.
Did you find that last year was one of your most challenging personally for you?
Not any more challenging than years prior. The game's hard. The talk about whatever happened last year is in the past now, and all I've done now is just put my head down and get to work over the pre-season months. That's all I'm focused on is this year ahead, and I'm excited and really buoyed by what I can produce.
Fremantle first up, what do you make of that challenge?
Yeah, it is that. It's a real challenge. I've got a lot of respect for every line of their team. They've got threats all over the board, and we're really excited to come up against them in round 1. They're going to be fresh, they're going to be hungry. By all reports, they've had a really good pre-season, as every team has at this time of the year, so we're excited to come up against them on our home deck.
How is Bailey feeling? Is he right to go for this weekend?
Yeah, I think he's jumping out of his skin, to be honest with you. It's been a long and challenging road for him individually, but ever since he's got to the club, I've been really proud of the way he's applied himself to his craft and to his work. And he's obviously he's different with the way that he comes with the media attention and his character within society. But I can only speak so highly of the way he's embraced our culture and come in and, as I said, put his head down, got to work, and he's really dragged a lot of the young boys along with him as well. I think Cal talked about his natural progression as a leader, which has happened within the space of 3 months, which is a real boy for our program and him individually.
What does it do on field in terms of having a guy like that going to the midfield?
It's good. I think we saw at a small sample size against Hawthorn out here, just his ability to play with penetration is something that we're really excited about. He gets the ball going our way. He's strong in the contest, and he drives his legs and uses his foot, which is it's as good as you'll see, I think. We saw that as a 18, 19, 20, 21-year-old, and if he can bring those traits to our team, it's going to really help.
Tom, just more of an off-field question. There's been some reports of the Cats building up a day. Are you across that plan much?
Mildly, but I don't think it'll be in my lifetime as a player. I haven't got many years left. I'm sort of getting towards the end of my career, but you know, if that happens, if that happens for the community, I think it's magnificent. It'll give access to the players on training days, you know, from the community output, and then community programs too. Auskick, junior programs, they'll get access to it from what I believe and what I understand, and you know, it'll create what already is, you know, an amazing precinct here at Carnenia Park, and just add the cherry on top.
Thank you. Being so close last year to a grand final, have you had to make any major changes? Obviously Bailey Smith's a big addition, but any major changes game plan wise, or is it little tweaks?
I think it would be naive of us to think that we don't have to shift and pivot, but I think we as a club have had such consistency for a long period of time, and we understand what it is to play finals footy. I think in my time I've played in 2 grand finals and 4 prelims in 8 years. So you do tinker at the edges, but sort of what we value and at our core who we are as a group doesn't really change that much. And I think that's the biggest thing that I've learnt in my career is your consistency throughout, and your consistency with your approach is the most important thing, and that's so well led by our coaches. We understand what makes us a great team and what our identity is, and as I said, we tinker at the edges, but at our nucleus and at our core, we sort of understand what it is to get to that point.
Things can change in 5 days' time. It's going to be 33 on Saturday.
It is.
Nice and warm. How do you go about preparing for games like that, knowing they're not a regular occurrence?
Well, I think we've dealt with it all summer. It's been one of the hottest summers that we've sort of had down here in Geelong, which is going to prepare you ultimately for that sort of weather. You know, it's hot in Perth as well, so they'll be well prepared, well versed. But, you know, there's an array of different ways that we've gone about it with, you know, heat training and sauna exposure and that sort of thing. You know, when you play in Brisbane opening round, you sort of anticipate that it's going to be hot up there. So we've gone through our progresses and the things that we have been instilled from our S&C side of things with some, as I said, some heat room exposure and some sauna therapy, which hopefully will hold us in good stead, and then, you know, drink plenty of water and hydrate up, mate.